Name one UK rapper who broke America. Take your time. Not charted once, but went viral for a week. Actually broke through, the way American artists break through globally. It's a short list, maybe a list of zero, and it's not a talent problem. So what is it? UK rap in 2026 is not a small scene. Grime, UK drill, Afroswing, these genres have shaped music globally. Stormzy, Dave, Skepta, Little Sims, Central Cee, world-class artists, no debate. Stormzy headlined Glastonbury. Dave made one of the most ambitious albums in black music history. Skepta has American rap legends publicly claiming his influence, and yet, American radio, American charts, American mainstream culture, the impact doesn't show up in the way you'd expect. Why? This video breaks it into 4 structural factors. Not opinions, not grievances, structure. Because understanding why something happens is more useful than just calling it unfair. First factor, cultural translation. Music doesn't just travel on melody, it travels on meaning, and meaning is tied to context. When an American rapper talks about the block, the trap, the hood, specific streets, the audience already carries that world. They don't decode it, they feel it before they've processed it. When a UK artist raps about the ends, about Mandem, about grime raids and council estates and London postcodes, that context doesn't automatically make the journey. The experiences are real, vivid, deeply human, but they require decoding from an audience that didn't grow up inside them. Here's a deeper layer. The American ear has been conditioned for decades. AAVE, African American Vernacular English. It's a sonic blueprint hip-hop built itself on globally. The cadence, the pronunciation, the flow patterns, that's a template the whole world learned from. A UK accent, a patois flow, distinctly British voice, those are departures from that template. Departures create friction, not because they're wrong, because they're different from what listeners are trained to receive. In a world where attention lasts 3 seconds, friction is a competitive disadvantage. The artists who navigate this find the frequencies that travel without erasing who they are. That's a real skill, and not every artist should have to develop it. Second factor, infrastructure. This is where the conversation goes systemic. Breaking America is not just a creative challenge, it's a logistical one. America isn't one market, it's 20 regional markets, each with its own radio networks, its own label relationships, its own promotional circuits. To break an artist there, you need boots on the ground. In Atlanta, New York, LA, Houston, a PR machine that knows those cities, radio contacts built over years. UK artists, unless you're on a major with a genuinely resourced American division, enter that infrastructure as outsiders. They're competing for a space in a system with no particular incentive to accommodate them. Think about what Drake has, and I know he's Canadian, what Kendrick has. Decades of label infrastructure, media relationships, cultural capital, all built inside that American system. When Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, every radio programmer in the country was already orientated towards him. That's not luck, that's 20 years of infrastructure. A UK artist coming from the outside is starting from zero in a market that already has more domestic supply than it can process. The American music industry doesn't need UK rap. It has enough of its own. That's not hostility, that's just the economics of a self-sufficient market. Third factor, and this one's less visible, platform gatekeeping. American radios still matter. US curated streaming playlists still matter. Both are shaped by what labels are pushing, what's already trending domestically, and what fits the sonic template those platforms have built their audiences around. Without major American label backing, the UK's artist music simply isn't in the room where those decisions get made. Not active exclusion, the system just runs on relationships, and those take years to build across an ocean. There's a subtler dynamic too. American hip-hop audiences are protective of the culture. They want to know who you are, where you're from, whether your story's real. That credibility building process happens naturally for domestic artists. From a distance, it's a different challenge entirely. The artists who break through either embedded themselves physically inside the American market or built a global audience so undeniable that the industry had to pay attention. The expectations are where the real lessons live. 21 Savage, born in London, raised partly in ATL, his story is instructive, but it's not a UK crossover story. He was formed inside both cultures and built his career entirely within an American system. Not a UK artist who crossed over, a product of both worlds operating in one of them. Central Cee is the most current and most relevant case study. He didn't wait for American radio, He built a global audience through streams, through TikTok traction, European features that extended his reach without diluting his identity. He's distinctly British, but his music has a cadence that doesn't require a cultural decoder to fill. He moves strategically, American features placed carefully, US presence without overstaying. He built leverage before demanding attention. That's a pattern. The artists who break through stop asking the American market to come to them and build something so globally substantial, it can't be denied. But the system is changing, and that's where it gets interesting. The internet doesn't have a passport, TikTok doesn't run a US-only algorithm, YouTube serves content to Lagos, Toronto, Sao Paulo, regardless of where the artist is based. Spotify's discovery engine runs on engagement, not geography. The infrastructure that historically kept UK artists out of American ears is being disrupted by platforms that operate on a completely different logic. Not geography, engagement. Not label relationships, they are. The path to the American audiences no longer runs exclusively through American institutions. An artist with 2 million global listeners, including a real slice of American listeners, carries leverage that didn't exist 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Labels notice, programmers notice, cultures notice. What's emerging is a generation of UK artists building an American presence from the ground up. Not through the front door of the US industry, but through a direct line to the audience, bypassing the gatekeepers entirely. The structural barriers are still real. Radio is still largely closed. Label infrastructure still favors domestic artists. Cultural translation is still worked, but the balance of power is shifting. UK rap's struggle to break America is not a quality problem, not a talent problem, not an ambition problem. It's cultural translation, the friction that builds when music crosses contexts that don't share the same reference points. It's infrastructure, the structural advantage American artists carry by existing inside the world's most powerful music market. And it's gatekeeping, the invisible layer of platform logic and industry relationships that decide whose music gets pushed and whose gets filtered out. None of that is permanent, none of that is insurmountable. The artists who change the conversation won't do it by becoming more American. They'll do it by becoming so undeniably themselves and so strategically global that the American market runs out of reasons to ignore them. That moment is coming. The foundation is already being laid. The question isn't whether UK rap will break America. The question is which artists will make it impossible to deny. If you got something from this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. I drop new videos every week breaking down the business and psychology behind rap culture. And if you want to go deeper, the next video is right here. Games, a nigga needs a day. I'm talking about the rollie, and it's feeling like my time. I ain't even in my prime. Look, I'm feeling like I'm Tyson. I'm favored by God, but I'm fighting with the devil. Grind, don't stop, look, reaching new levels.